The morning sky over Seoul turned dark as massive alien ships appeared without warning. Admiral Hyun-woo Park gripped the railing of his command ship, watching hundreds of strange vessels block out the sun. The alien fleet was unlike anything humans had ever seen, sleek metal giants that seemed to bend light around their edges. "Sir, we're getting a signal from the largest ship," said Lieutenant Sujin Lee, her voice shaking as she worked the radio. "Controls." The main screen in front of them lit up, showing a face that made everyone in the room step back in fear. The alien had skin like broken glass and eyes that glowed with cold fire. When it spoke, its voice felt like ice water in their veins. "Small creatures of the third world," it said, each word dripping with disgust. "I am High Coordinator Valthera of the Zephyrian Collective. Your planet now belongs to us. 3 days to give up, or we will take it by force." Down in the war room, deep under the Pentagon, General Min-ho Kim watched the transmission with growing anger. He had spent 30 years protecting his country, and now this alien thing was treating Earth like it was nothing more than a prize to be won. "This is Earth speaking," General Kim said, stepping closer to the camera. "We want to talk about this properly. There must be rules for this kind of thing." The alien's laugh sounded like glass breaking. "Rules you think you can make deals with? Us. Look at your weapons. They are like toys compared to ours. We've taken over 47 worlds. Your little rockets cannot even scratch our shields." Dr. Jun Choi sat in her lab, watching the conversation with growing horror. She had always dreamed of meeting aliens, but not like this. These creatures looked at humans the way humans might. Look at ants as something small and unimportant. "Your people will work for us," Valthara continued, her glowing eyes showing no mercy. "Your planet will give us what we need. Your children will learn to serve us. This is not something you can change. It is simply what will happen." The alien's words hit the room like a physical blow. Captain Dong Hyun-yu, who had been listening from his fighter jet high above, felt his hands shake on the controls. He had trained his whole life to protect his country, but how could anyone fight against technology like this? "We've seen this before," Valthera said, her voice growing colder. "Every species thinks they are special. Every world believes they can resist us, but in the end they all kneel. You will too." The transmission cut off suddenly, leaving the humans in terrible silence. Through the thick windows of the command center, they could see the alien ships moving into position above every major city on Earth. The invasion was beginning, and humanity had never felt so small. President Sarah Kong rushed into the war room, her face pale with fear. "What are our options?" she asked, though she already knew the answer would not be good. "Their shields stopped our best missiles like they were nothing," reported Colonel Jamin Ryu. "Our jets cannot get close to their ships. Their technology is hundreds of years ahead of ours." Dr. Choi looked up from her computer, where she had been studying the alien transmission. "There might be one thing," she said quietly. "They're so sure they've already won. They're not even trying to hide their plans from us." "What do you mean?" asked General Kim. "They think we're too stupid to be dangerous," Dr. Choi explained. "They're treating this like they've already won. Maybe that's a mistake we can use." Outside, the alien ships cast long shadows over the cities below. In New York, London, Tokyo, and Seoul, people looked up at the sky in fear. Children cried in their parents' arms. Adults stood in the streets, not knowing what to do. But in the military bases around the world, something else was happening. Soldiers, who had trained their whole lives for war, were not giving up. Scientists who had spent years studying how to fight were not surrendering. Leaders who had sworn to protect their people were not backing down. 3 days, General Kim said, his voice hard as steel. "They've given us 3 days. What can we do in 3 days against technology like that?" asked Captain Yu over the radio. Dr. Choi stood up, her eyes bright with sudden understanding. "Maybe more than they think. They've conquered 47 worlds, but they've never conquered humans before. They don't know what we're capable of when we're fighting for our lives." Admiral Park nodded slowly. "Send word to every military base on Earth. We have 72 hours to come up with a plan. If we're going to die, we'll die fighting." Alien ships hung in the sky like dark clouds, waiting for humanity's surrender. But down below, in secret rooms and hidden bunkers, the people of Earth were not preparing to give up. They were preparing to show these aliens what humans could do when they had nothing left to lose. The war for Earth's freedom was about to begin. The sun rose on Earth's second day under alien threat, but the sky remained dark with enemy ships. Captain Dong Hyenyu gripped his fighter jet's controls as he watched something that made his blood run cold. Huge alien platforms were slowly dropping through the clouds like giant metal islands falling from heaven. "Fire everything we have," came the order through his radio. Dong Hyen watched as missiles from 6 different countries shot toward the alien ships. These were the most powerful weapons humans had ever built, nuclear missiles that could destroy entire cities in seconds. But as the missiles hit the alien shields, they simply disappeared. Not exploded, not bounced off, just vanished, like they had never existed at all. Dong Hyen's mouth fell open in shock. "This cannot be real," he whispered into his radio. "Those missiles cost more money than most countries have. How can they just stop them like that?" Far below, in a secret bunker, buried deep under the ground, President Sarah Kong sat at a large table with leaders from around the world. The room was filled with computer screens showing alien ships landing in every major city. The creatures were setting up strange machines that hummed with energy and seemed to bend the air around them. "Look at this," said Colonel Jamin Ryu, pointing to words on his screen. "We broke into their communications. Don't even call us humans. They call us livestock in their reports." The word hit everyone in the room like a slap. Livestock meant animals raised for food or work. The aliens did not see humans as people at all. Dr. Jun Choi had been working without sleep, trying to understand the alien technology. Her eyes were red and tired, but she kept studying every signal they sent. "There is something strange about how they act," she said quietly. "They are so sure they have already won that they are not being careful." "What do you mean?" asked President Kang. "They're making mistakes because they think we are too stupid to notice," Dr. Choi explained. "They are showing us their technology, telling us their plans. They think it does not matter because we cannot fight back." On the second day, something even worse happened. The alien leader herself came down to Earth. Valthera appeared in the United Nations building like a ghost made of glass and light. She did not use a spaceship or transporter that anyone could see. She simply appeared, surrounded by alien soldiers twice as tall as any human. The moment she entered the Great Hall, people began to feel sick. Some threw up, others fainted. Alien's presence felt like a cold weight pressing down on everyone's chest. "Your time is running out," Valthera said, and her voice filled the entire room without any microphone. "We have studied your armies, your weapons, your cities. Hiding us would not just be impossible, it would be funny." Defense Minister Yang Soo Park forced himself to stand up even though his legs were shaking. "If we surrender, what happens to our people? Will they be safe?" Valthera's face changed in a way that might have been a smile, but it made everyone more afraid. "Safe? You will have food to eat and places to sleep. You will have jobs to do for us. What more could animals like you want?" The alien leader waved her hand, and images appeared in the air above the table. They showed other worlds that the aliens had conquered. On some planets, the people worked in huge factories with no windows. On others, they lived in small boxes and only came out to do work for their alien masters. "This is your future," Valthera said. "Accept it now, and the change will be easy. Fight us, and we will make it painful." Round the table, the world leaders looked at each other without speaking. But their eyes all said the same thing: they would rather die than live as slaves. Colonel Ryu was listening to more alien communications through his headphones. "They are talking about how easy this is," he whispered to Dr. Choi. "They say humans are the most cowardly species they have ever met." "Good," Dr. Choi whispered back. "Let them think that." Outside the building, Captain Yu circled in his fighter jet, watching alien soldiers walk through the streets of New York. The creatures were tall and moved like they owned everything they saw. They carried weapons that glowed with strange energy, and wore armor that seemed to be made of living metal. But as you watched, he noticed something. The aliens were not being careful. They walked in straight lines, used the same patterns, and always did things the same way. They were so sure of their victory that they were not even trying to hide their weaknesses. "All pilots, this is Captain Yu," he said into his radio. "I want everyone to watch how they move, study everything they do. I think we are beaten, but maybe we can surprise them." Back in the bunker, President Kang stood up as Velthara's image faded from the screens. "How much time do we have left?" she asked. 24 hours, said General Kim. "Then they expect our surrender."
Then,
"We have 24 hours to show them what humans can do," President Kong replied. "Send word to every soldier, every scientist, every citizen. We are not livestock. We're human beings, and we will not go quietly." The cameras of the world watched as President Sarah Kong walked slowly to the long table covered in alien documents. Her hand shook as she picked up the strange pen that would sign away Earth's freedom. Behind her stood the leaders of every nation, their faces showing defeat and sadness. "Today marks the beginning of a new age," Velthara announced, her glass-like skin gleaming under the bright lights. "Humanity has chosen to join the Zephyrian Collective peacefully." President Kang signed her name on the first page, then passed the pen to the next leader. One by one, they signed documents that gave everything to the aliens: their armies, their weapons, their governments, their people. The whole world watched on television as their leaders gave up. But what the aliens could not see were the small hand signals the humans made to each other. When President Kang touched her ear, it meant "stay ready." When the German leader coughed twice, it meant the plan is working. When the Japanese minister said "new beginning" instead of "new start," it told watching humans that Operation Lazarus was now active. "Your species learns quickly," Velthara said with satisfaction.
oh yeah?
"You will make excellent servants." The ceremony ended with human soldiers laying down their weapons in public squares around the world. Tanks were driven into pits and buried. Fighter jets were destroyed in front of cameras. The aliens watched with pleasure as humanity's military disappeared. But what they did not know was that for every weapon destroyed in public, 10 more were hidden in secret places. For every soldier who gave up his uniform, 5 more went underground. The surrender was all for show. 3 weeks later, Tae Hyung-oh put on his blue maintenance uniform and reported to the Zephyrian Command Center in Seoul. The aliens barely looked at him as he walked through their halls with his toolbox. To them, he was just another human worker, invisible and unimportant. "Clean the air system today," the alien supervisor told him in broken Korean. "Make sure no dust gets in machines." "Yes, sir," Tae-young replied, bowing low like a good servant. As he climbed into the air ducts with his cleaning equipment, he was actually installing tiny cameras and listening devices. Each one was smaller than a coin and impossible to see unless you knew exactly where to look. The aliens had amazing technology, but they never thought to check if their human cleaners were spying on them. They assumed humans were too primitive. To understand their advanced systems in another part of the city, Dr. June Choi sat at a desk covered with alien books and computer files. Her new job was to translate Zephyrian technical manuals into human languages. The aliens wanted their human workers to understand basic instructions for operating their machines, but Dr. Choi was doing much more than translating. She was learning. Every secret the aliens had, each page she read taught her more about their technology, their weapons, their weaknesses. And every night she secretly copied everything and sent it to hidden human research centers around the world. Their energy. Weapons work by focusing light particles. She whispered into a hidden microphone during her lunch break. But the focusing crystals can be overloaded if you hit them with the right frequency. Up in space, Captain Dong-Hyeon-yu was no longer flying fighter jets. Now he wore simple work clothes and carried heavy boxes around the alien orbital station. His job was to move supplies from one place to another, boring work that the aliens did not want to do themselves. But Captain Yu was not just carrying boxes. He was studying every alien fighter ship on the station. When no one was looking, he would touch the controls, memorize the layout, and figure out how the ships worked. The aliens let humans do basic maintenance on their ships. never thinking that some of those humans were actually trained pilots. Their ships are fast, but the power system has a weak point, he reported to his secret resistance group. If we can hit the energy coupling at the right moment, the whole ship will shut down. All across Earth, millions of humans were playing the same game. They acted like defeated servants during the day, but at night, they were learning, planning, and preparing. Teachers told their students about Zephyrian culture, while secretly teaching them resistance codes. Doctors treated sick aliens while secretly studying their biology to find weaknesses. Even human children were helping. Their natural curiosity let them explore areas that adults could not reach. They would ask innocent questions about alien technology, and the aliens would answer without thinking. A child asking, "How does this work?" seemed harmless. But the information was passed along to the resistance. The Zephyrians began to feel very pleased with themselves. Unlike other species they had conquered, humans seemed to accept their new situation without complaint. They worked, hard followed orders, and caused no trouble. "These humans are the most obedient species we have ever enslaved," Valthera told her officers. They adapted to servitude faster than any other race. But what the aliens did not understand was that this was not obedience, it was preparation. While they congratulated themselves on their easy victory, the humans were quietly learning everything they needed to know for the real war that was coming. The aliens thought they had won. They had actually given their enemies the greatest gift possible: time to study them, understand them, and find their weaknesses. The surrender had been fake, but the planning was very real. At exactly 3 a.m, every hidden radio on Earth crackled to life with the same message. The time has come. In secret bunkers, hidden rooms, and dark basements around the world, humans who had been waiting for months finally heard the words they had been hoping for. Tae-young was mopping the floor in the alien command center when his watch buzzed 3 times. He looked around to make sure no aliens were watching, then pulled a small device from his cleaning cart. For weeks, he had been secretly installing tiny computer programs into the alien machines. Now it was time to activate them. He pressed a single button, and immediately the alien computers began to go crazy. Warning lights flashed red throughout the building. The aliens' defense shields shut down. Communication systems stopped working. Their weapons would not fire. The aliens ran around in panic, trying to understand what was happening to their perfect technology. "Computer virus activated," Tae-hyung whispered into his hidden microphone. "Their systems are down. High above Earth, Captain Dong-hyun, you had been waiting for this moment for 3 months. He and 20 other human pilots had been secretly training on stolen alien fighter ships. The aliens thought they were just cargo workers, but they were actually Earth's best pilots, learning to fly enemy ships. Now, Captain, you shouted to his team. They ran to the alien fighters and jumped into the cockpits. The months of secret practice paid off as they started the engines and took off from the alien space station. For the first time in months, human pilots were flying again, but now they were flying alien ships with alien weapons. "This is for everyone on Earth," you screamed as he dove toward the largest alien ship. His fighters' energy weapons, far more powerful than anything humans had ever built, tore through the alien shields like paper. The other pilots followed him, attacking the aliens with their own technology. Down on Earth, the real battle was beginning. In every city where aliens had built control centers, hidden doors suddenly opened. Humans poured out carrying weapons that glowed with strange energy. These were not the guns and missiles that had failed before. These were alien weapons that Dr. Choi had taught them to build in Seoul. A group of resistance fighters led by Colonel Jaemin Ryu attacked the main alien base. They moved like ghosts through the streets, carrying energy rifles that could cut through alien armor. The aliens who had been so confident just hours before now found themselves fighting for their lives. "Remember, aim for the crystal in there," Chest-Ryu told his soldiers. Dr. Choi said that's their weak point. The aliens tried to fight back, but their weapons would not work. The computer virus that Tae-hyung had planted had shut down all their systems. They were stuck with broken technology while the humans attacked them with working alien weapons. In the main alien command ship, Valthera watched her screens in horror. Every display showed the same thing. Her forces were being destroyed by the humans she had thought were harmless servants. Her crystalline face cracked with rage and fear. How is this possible? She screamed at her officers. They are primitive. They should not be able to use our technology.
Oh.
The humans have been studying our systems for months, her tactical officer replied, his voice shaking with fear. They have learned how to use our weapons better than we can. They have improved them, made them stronger. This is impossible, Elthera shouted. We have conquered 47 worlds. No species has ever fought back like this. But the truth was undeniable. On every screen, she could see human fighters destroying alien ships. On every planet display, she could see alien bases being overrun by human soldiers. The species she had dismissed as livestock was systematically destroying her entire fleet in his hidden command center. General Minho Kim watched the battle reports with grim satisfaction. Every alien installation on Earth was under attack at the same time. The plan was working perfectly. All units, this is General Kim, he announced over the global communication network. The aliens wanted to see what humans are capable of when they fight. Today we show them. The battle raged through the night. Human pilots flew alien ships against alien pilots who no longer had working weapons. Human soldiers with alien energy. Rifles fought alien soldiers whose armor could not protect them. Human scientists who had spent months learning alien technology used that knowledge to destroy the aliens' own equipment. Dr. Jun Choi coordinated the technical attack from her secret laboratory. She had spent months learning how alien technology worked, and now she was using that knowledge to turn it against them. Every weakness she had discovered, every vulnerability she had found, was being exploited by human fighters around the world. Their power systems are overloading, she reported to General Kim. The virus is working, but their ships are losing power, one by one. As the sun rose over Earth, the tide of battle had completely turned. The aliens who had arrived as conquerors were now the ones being conquered. Their technological advantage meant nothing when the humans were using the same technology against them. Captain Yu's voice crackled over the radio from his alien fighter. Command. This is Yu. The orbital stations are falling. We're winning. For the first time in months, General Kim allowed himself to smile. The aliens had made one fatal mistake. They had underestimated what humans could do when they refused to surrender. The massive alien mothership hung in space like a wounded giant. Its silver hull cracked in bleeding atmosphere into the void. Captain, Yu pressed his fighter forward through the debris field, his squadron close behind. Around them, the battle raged as human pilots flew captured Zephyrian ships against their former owners. All units, focus fire on the command tower. Yu's voice crackled through the cum. His fighter danced between enemy plasma bursts, the modified weapons humming as they charged. The aliens had built these ships to be perfect killing machines, but they never imagined humans would be using them inside the dying flagship. Velthera clutched her command throne as another explosion rocked the bridge. Her crystalline skin, once gleaming with pride, now showed ugly cracks around her. Her officers worked frantically at failing control panels. Status report, she demanded, her voice trembling for the first time in centuries. Hull breach on decks 7 through 12. An officer reported. Life support failing. Our escort ships are destroyed. Velthara stared at the tactical display in disbelief. Red marks showed where her fleet had been just hours ago. Now only scattered debris remained. The humans had turned their own weapons against them, but somehow made them stronger, deadlier. This cannot be happening, she whispered. We are the Zephyrian Collective. We have conquered 47 star systems. These creatures are primitives. A new voice cut through the static on the communication channel. Admiral Park's weathered face appeared on the main screen, his eyes hard as steel. Your superiority was always an illusion, Velthera. You never fought anyone who refused to stay defeated. The alien commander's mandibles clicked in rage. You think this victory means anything? The collective spans entire galaxies. You're part of something greater. Then your small minds can understand. Then the collective will learn what we learned, Park replied calmly. Never underestimate the species you're trying to enslave. Another massive explosion shook the ship. Warning lights flashed red throughout the bridge as systems failed one by one. Through the viewport, Velthara could see human boarding craft, approaching like metal wasps. Colonel Rue led the assault through the ship's corridors, his combat suit sensors guiding him through the alien architecture. The hybrid weapons his team carried were beautiful in their simplicity. Human engineering combined with Zephyrian technology. They cut through enemy armor like paper. "Bridge is 2 levels up," he reported, stepping over a fallen alien defender. "Resistance is light. They're running out of soldiers." The boarding party moved with practiced efficiency. Every human had lost someone in the invasion. Every human had a score to settle. They advanced through the ship like a tide of vengeance, unstoppable and merciless. General Kim waited in the command center as the last of Velthara's guards fell. The alien leader stood alone now, her crystalline form reflecting the emergency. Lighting. Her earlier arrogance was gone, replaced by something humans recognized well: fear. "You don't understand what you've done," Velthara said, backing against her throne. "The Collective will send reinforcements, entire battle fleets. You have only delayed the inevitable." Kim stepped closer, her uniform torn, but her resolve unbroken. "Let them come. We'll be ready." "You cannot fight the galaxy itself," the alien pleaded. "Join us willingly, and your species will be spared. Resist, and you will face extinction." "We already faced extinction," Kim replied coldly. "We survived. We adapted. It became something you never expected." The general raised her weapon, its alien components glowing with deadly energy. "You came here expecting to find servants. Instead, you found something much more dangerous. Humans who refused to surrender." The shot lit up the command center. Velthara's crystalline form shattered like glass, her final scream echoing through the ship's corridors. On Earth, the last Zephyrian vessels turned and fled into deep space, carrying their warning to the stars. Dr. Choi stood in the ruins of Sol's command center, looking up at the night sky. The alien ships were gone, but their technology remained, scattered across the planet like gifts from a fallen god. Humanity had paid a terrible price for victory, but they had gained something precious: the knowledge that they could survive. "Anything they thought we were primitives," she said quietly to herself. "They were wrong." Above her, the stars seemed different now, no longer distant and unreachable, but filled with possibilities. Zephyrians had opened the door to the galaxy, thinking they were bringing in conquerors. Instead, it unleashed something far more dangerous: humans who had learned they could not be broken. The few surviving aliens fled into the cosmic darkness, carrying a message that would spread throughout the galaxy. Earth was no longer a primitive world to be conquered. It was forced to be respected, feared, and above all, never underestimated again. In the silence that followed, humanity began to heal and rebuild, their eyes turned toward the stars with new purpose.